Market Structures by Maria, Piper, and Robin. What exactly is a market structure? Let's find out. There is a market structure anytime the sellers of a good or service meet with buyers to see if there is potential for a transaction to take place. Meaning, will consumers buy a producer's product? These products are items such as retail, like shoes and clothes, or produce, like a local farmer's market, or necessities such as clean water, or even technology and technological services. A market structure is the way in which the market is organized. Fewer firms leads to more power for the sellers. There is less competition, so consumers have fewer options. Therefore, producers can dictate the price of their goods with little retaliation from consumers. There are 4 types of market structures. First, we will cover perfect competition. Then, we will discuss monopolistic competition. Third, we will review an oligopoly. And last but not least, monopoly. Let's begin with perfect competition. The general guidelines are many sellers whose products are differentiated by consumers based on the lowest price. The large number of firms leads to a great amount of competition and should create lower prices for consumers. So, consumers have a lot of power. This is a good thing. See, he's happy. Sellers are 100% price takers, meaning consumers want lower prices, so firms have to provide them. Examples are corn, wheat, and rice. All of these are relatively cheap products sold at the lowest price. Entering into this market is easy due to the amount of competition. This also means it is easy to leave. The pros of perfect competition are competition encourages efficiency, consumers are charged at lower prices, suppliers are responsive to consumers' wishes, more demand leads to greater supply. The negatives are insufficient profits to invest, lack of variety, and negative externalities that hurt the environment through pollution. So let's review the key points. There is a huge number of sellers. Buyers have freedom to choose the product they want. Products are the same, allowing buyers to choose based on the lowest price. Therefore, consumers have a lot of power and sellers have no power. They are 100% price takers. It is easy to enter or exit this market. Let's move on to monopolistic competition. Again, there is a large amount of sellers. This time, the firms may sell the same product, but they want to distinguish themselves as much as possible from their competitors to convince buyers their product is unique. This forces the firms to rely heavily on ads. For example, there are all kinds of burger restaurants: In-N-Out, McDonald's, Five Guys' famous burger and fries. But only Burger King lets you have it your way. Another example is car insurance companies: Progressive, Geico, State Farm, Allstate, any number of companies. But only Esurance has technology when you want it, people when you don't. Again, they distinguish through advertisement. Fruity Sparkles are not magically delicious. Also, again, there is easy entrance or exit from this market. Although not to the same extent as perfect competition, monopolistic competition is a price taker because consumers prefer fewer prices over their tastes. The positives are high competition between firms, greater choice and variety for consumers, This leads to incentive for firms to invest in their products to increase their quality for a slight increase in profit. Consumers are more knowledgeable about products due to the extent of the advertisement used by these firms. The negatives are the firms are wasteful. They overproduce because too many firms produce the same good. Also, the ads and factors of production can outweigh the actual amount of goods sold. The advertisement easily manipulates consumers, particularly children. So let's review. There are a lot of producers who want to distinguish themselves as unique to consumers, even though they may all be selling the same product. There is a lot of advertisement used by the sellers. The market is easy to enter as well as exit. They are price takers due to the amount of competition, and consumers will choose lower prices over their preferences. Let's address oligopolies. The competition is limited due to the small number of sellers. Fewer sellers creates freedom for sellers to determine their prices more than in a monopolistic competition. This makes them price givers, where the sellers determine the price. Unlike the first two structures, there are barriers to entry in an oligopoly. The lack of large competition breeds deep rivalry between the few competitors. Society benefits because the sellers are competing by creating their products mostly through research. For example, Boeing versus Airbus, both aircraft, but which one do you choose? Microsoft compared to Apple, iPhone relative to Android. Oligopolies even exist with food. Here, beer. Different firms involved in the music industry. The advantages of an oligopoly are the prices are stable because if one producer increases prices, consumers will shift to buying more from the other firm. Also, the prices are lower than those in a monopoly. The negatives are it is very hard for new producers to enter this market because other firms are already established and control most of the available resources. An existing firm may have a deal with suppliers to increase their prices for incoming producers. So let's review. This is a market with a small number of sellers. Oligopoly producers have more control over their prices than in monopolistic competition. There are major barriers to entry, but society benefits from oligopolies because producers are caught up in beating each other that they improve the quality of their product or service. All right, the last market is called a monopoly. This is the exclusive control of a good or service in a particular market. Ultimately, this means there is only one producer. There are no close substitutes or competition. Often, there is routinely bad service as there is no incentive for producers to improve the quality of their product, and there are high prices. Consumers have no power. This is not a good thing. See, now he's unhappy. Again, there are barriers to entry due to government intervention. Examples are electricity, water supply and flow, and licenses and car ownership at the DMV. This market is 100% a price giver. The advantage of a monopoly is that it saves resources and therefore helps the environment. The negatives are poor to awful service with no incentive to change, high prices, and strong barriers to entry. So let's review one last time. There is only one seller with complete market control, no close substitutes, bad service, high prices, barriers to entry because of government regulation, and they are 100% price givers.